Like many political leaders, Joseph Stalin got his start in the communication business. He was a writer who learned the power of messaging. According to one account, he was adept at boiling down complex ideas into simple binaries and folksy fables. After the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917, Stalin ran Pravda, the Soviet newspaper whose name means, rather ironically, truth. He would go on, of course, to become the leader of the Soviet Union for much of the first half of the 20th century. Born Yosef Jugashvili, he adopted the name Stalin later in life. It translates to steel, a name that projects strength. His rule was marked by mass executions of ethnic groups that he feared could be vulnerable to overtures from enemies, ethnic Germans, Poles, and peasants who had resisted collectivist farms. In the campaign of violence known as the Great Purge, Stalin arrested, interrogated, tortured, and executed members of his own military and intelligence officials whom he feared were disloyal. Accused spies received show trials before being convicted and sent to the Gulag or executed. Ever the communicator, Stalin would edit the interrogation transcripts to his favor. As dictator, he controlled the press, where, according to one account, paranoid fantasy had to be accepted as reality. A lifetime of professional messaging appears to have helped Stalin hone his tradecraft in disinformation. He even had a term for his real and imagined rivals, Vrag Naroda, which translates in English to enemy of the people. Disinformation is part of what is sometimes referred to as the authoritarian playbook. The phrase refers to the authoritarian tactics used throughout history to control the public. In her 1951 book, The Origins of Totalitarianism, political theorist Hannah Arendt writes that the strategy of strongmen is to manipulate the population to the point where they would, at the same time, believe everything and nothing, that everything was possible and that nothing was true. Some of those tactics are being used today in the United States.